Okay, so I work with energy, and when it's a one-to-one like this, then it means that I can see into the body. I read energy. I read the energy of the body, and with lots of different layers of energy, lots of different energy fields, that increasingly become more material. And then they get to the point where they cross from being energy with a lot of space to being material with very little space. And so the energy body has its own anatomy and physiology. And you know, it's energy, so if you don't give them labels, that's also okay, as long as you feel. But when I say I see into the body, I mean I don't have an X-ray vision. I feel energy, and I feel different frequencies of energy body, and then I feel that where there is something that's blocking movement or anything of energy in the body, depending on where it is, it becomes disease or distress or whatever, and it can be anything. It could be a memory, it could be an emotion. It's often memory with emotions attached. Whether it's from this life, whether it's from a past life, doesn't matter. So part of the work really on the physical in terms of disease and distress is to go into that part of the body where the energy flow is disrupted in a very deep level, and to create a communication and an interpretation of the energy flow so that it returns to what we call natural right order. So when the body feels safe enough and secure enough and, you know, augmented enough through love and through touch and through whatever it needs, it will give up whatever it is that it's holding or that is stuck in that space. And then healing occurs by the body returning to a natural state. So I do that on a physical. Some people like to explore it. They like to find out what it is that has caused the block. Some people like to do it in silence. Either way, it doesn't matter for me. I work a lot anyway, multiculturally and internationally. I work a lot with people who don't speak English. So it works whether there is a, you know, but the communication is energy, and the communication is through the spiritual heart and the love. Beyond that, we can speak or we don't. I mean, some people want to keep private, and that's absolutely fine. So on that's one level, and then that's the healing, and it can be on an individual basis, it can be on a family relational basis, it can be with friends, it could be with the office, your relation with the office, your relation with your work. So relationships are how we extend ourselves to know ourselves. So and relationships are starting with ours with ourselves is often the biggest challenge that we have in terms of being able to, you know, speak our truth and to stay where we are and to hold our vision and to have boundaries and all of that. Okay, so then, you know, once we're healed, inverted commas, or once people are facilitated to heal themselves, then there's two parts. They move into keeping that permanent, and for me there's a practice, and so I have an enormous website with loads of practices. Because if you go back to where you were before, then you're going to recreate the same physical structure. But if you were able to move away from what we call what was, and you focus at what is, you then enter the territory of growth. And growth can be many different things. You can apply spiritual energies, energy that is, before it becomes material, well, it's material as well, that the energy uses the human body as a vehicle for expression. So you can't kind of like put a boundary and say, okay, well, I'm spiritual, so I don't actually do anything material. I don't do art, don't do beautiful food. I mean, that's all different aspects of spirit. It's how do you put your attention to know where the balance is. So, you know, people say, oh, you know, I'm so sorry, you know, I was focusing on this aspect, you know, art, this aspect of spirit, you know, I wasn't being spiritual. And I'm like, you know, well, what are you talking about? The spirit is expressed in art. Why would you not want to be involved? So, you know, it's about immersing in the love of the artist, immersing in the love of the chef, you know, the vineyard, and to bring all of that together in a balance that works, the fruits, You eat the fruit in love, you take it in love because it was grown in love. People didn't have the love for bringing in new forms of growing, they wouldn't be doing it. Do you know? No one's forced to do it. So that's the practice, includes meditation and different forms of energy work. And then we have a part of it that is the growth, where you create your vision, you live your vision. You live a life where fear is not the driving force. I always say to my students, imagine a life without fear. You're not fear-based and you do things. And you're not trying to have all the answers in the entire territory that opens up in front of you. You just need a few answers for right here, right now. And like you felt, the intuition is our connector to Source, and Source always directs us if we listen, and listening is a big part that people have forgotten about. People now live from the outside in. They're completely swamped with technology and too much information and rubbish and that. And we teach them to live from the inside out and to know not just that they are physical body, but they are much more that is expressing through the chakras, the eyes, whatever, in order to create a form of life that works for everyone in that moment. So we've got the healing, which is often strategy because it's not a one-step fix, and there's also growth, which is spiritual growth. We're here to expand, energy is here to expand, awareness is here to expand. And to bring that and to weave it into everyday life. And then out of that, communities, circles, I call them wisdom circles, they come together to explore different things. So the purpose of each circle is different because there's circles that explore nature, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, but also the nature of all that is. Got circles. I'm just going to bring forward a women's moon circle where we study the cycles of the moon and its impact on the mysteries, the female, the divine feminine. So that's quite different work, but it's interconnected. And then we've got circles that study the high mysteries. Got circles that study spiritual energy, the peace, the compassion, the love. And all of these are practices. So we call them wisdom circle because everything is connected to Source and a certain dignity of living that takes an understanding of fear and weaves it into daily life as a motivating factor, but is not drowning in fear and making choices based on that. So it's quite beautiful work. And then out of that you can make the application to business strategy and legal strategy and all of that. That's at a different context. So in a nutshell, that's what the work is about.